I am Staff Sergeant Joseph McFadder, and I'll be your narrator for this morning's ceremony. Today, in a centuries-old tradition, Colonel Kathleen Brinker will assume command from Colonel Stephen Lehr. The change of command is the military's formal transfer of command responsibilities from one commander to the next. This is a ceremony to represent the passing of the guidon, symbolic of the commanded unit, from the departing commander to the new commander. This ceremony will be performed virtually in the presence of the members of Tyndall Air Force Base and their families, allowing each person to observe the placing of authority and responsibility with their new commander.
Good morning, Med Group, and good morning, Tyndall Air Force Base. Thank you, Sergeant McFadder, for explaining why we've come together today, albeit virtually. Yes, the military change of command is a centuries-old tradition, but I'm guessing this is one of the first being done entirely in this way. That is a reality of where we are in this challenging and hopefully fleeting moment in our history. This too shall pass. Like always, we will overcome and make the best of the situation. That's become a bit of a trademark for this base the last couple of years. So while we cannot gather in person, and we won't render a first salute or a last one to a sharp formation of Med Group Airmen, or even stand face to face to pass the unit colors with a brisk shake and a timeless exchange of key phrases, we can and we will preserve this military tradition and conduct an official change of command ceremony. Here's what to expect. First, you will hear from me, the presiding official. Next, we will present Colonel Lehr with the Legion of Merit he earned during his tenure as commander. We will give Colonel Lehr an opportunity to address the Med Group one final time as their commander. Then we will read the order and officially pass the guidon from the outgoing to the incoming commander. Once she takes the guidon, she is in charge of the group. Lastly, we will give Colonel Brinker the opportunity to address the group for the first time as their commander. Many of you have attended a military change of command ceremony before. While this one is different in most ways, what is not different is the sincerity and the dignity with which we conduct this centuries-old military tradition. Thank you for making time to be with us. I would like to begin by sharing a few thoughts about Colonel Lehr before he relinquishes command. 634 days. That's how long Colonel Lehr has been in command of the 325th Med Group. That's just over 90 weeks. 562 days. That's how many days it's been since Hurricane Michael crushed our base, and that is just over 80 weeks. That means that nearly 90% of Colonel Lehr's time in command has been crisis leadership. What does that mean? I'll answer that question with a story, and I assure you it is a true story. Colonel Lehr inherited a fully operational Air Force clinic that serviced nearly 27,000 beneficiaries. 10 weeks later, the Air Force sent him in its place an air transportable clinic, or a clinic in a box, with only a handful of medics to run it. Colonel Lehr inherited a full fleet of emergency vehicles and well-rehearsed concepts of operations, or CONOPS, with our local hospitals just outside the gate. 10 weeks later, he had to build a casualty evacuation, or CASEVAC plan, with our special ops brethren down the coast at Hobart. I still remember when you briefed me that plan. One of the things I admire most about you as a commander is that you never accept the status quo. It's never good enough for your medics. You always make it better. 10 weeks into your command, you found yourself and your team living in offices, using dirty water from old wells that Bio had to sample multiple times each day. But not for long, not with you as a commander. You and your team upgraded to Bear Kit living accommodations. In Air Force speak, that is a basic expeditionary airfield resources kit. The rest of the world just calls them tents. I look back through my notes from the storm, and I confirmed that it was fewer than 3 weeks after the storm when you moved your medics out of the air transportable clinic and into the modular facilities adjacent to your heavily damaged clinic. Well, at least you moved into 2 out of 3 of them, because if you recall, the third one didn't survive the giant tree that cut it in half. You know what else I found in my notes from the time you were living in the Bear Kit and running a clinic out of damaged trailers? I made an entry after a conversation we had 12 days after the storm on October 22nd, 2018. It said, "What is the plan for pharmacy services for our retiree population?" That's what was on your mind. During crisis leadership, a great leader never forgets what is important, and you are a great leader. On the 7th of January, just over 2 months later, Joanna Rentis, your medical support squadron commander, sent me a note. I'd like to read it to you. "Good morning, sir. Pharmacy operations have resumed. Approximately 750 prescriptions per day. Pre-storm average was 800. We are meeting demand with 50% of the staff and operating out of one location. We also continue to support the Navy Clinic in Panama City Beach, who continues to see 2 to 3 times their normal daily volume in prescriptions. The medical supply chain was reestablished. This enabled a new pharmacy formulary to be built. This also enabled the mental health clinic move, the medical records move, and all other med group operations. A new records room was established. 28,000 medical records were retrieved from an area that had roof damage, temporarily relocated to refrigerated trucks, and then relocated to the med group. Part of this effort was getting 1,000 records damaged in the storm to an archiving company for restoration. Mental health clinic was reestablished in the old vet clinic and achieved initial operating capability. On 7 January, we moved away from walk-in only services and reestablished scheduled appointment capability, enabling 180 appointments per week. In addition to scheduled appointments, we reworked our acute care clinic into an urgent care clinic model, creating walk-in services to better support the TDY population. Please let me know if you need anything else. Joanna. Please let me know if you need anything else. I'm still struck by those words. What more could we possibly ask for from you and your medical group? All that was in just your second 10 weeks of command. So what does crisis leadership mean? I'm sure there are hundreds of different definitions. But if you're looking for just one shining example of how it's done right, look no further than Colonel Stephen Lehr. Steve, watching you and your team of now award-winning medics these last 562 days reminds me why I joined the world's greatest Air Force in the summer of 1993. You just don't accept the status quo. You make it better. And then you make it better again. I would be remiss if I did not pause for just a minute and extend my most sincere gratitude to your wife, Rochelle, or Ro, as the rest of us know you. You have woven yourself into the very fiber of this very tight-knit Air Force community, and we couldn't be luckier to have you. I know of no spouse more upbeat, more positive, or more complimentary than you. Your optimism and your kindness to all in our formation was always precisely what the doctor ordered, no pun intended. Never underestimate the immeasurable and positive impact you've had on all of us. You always know the right thing to say or do at precisely the right time, including less than a week after the storm. I was sitting on a cot in a hastily converted office turned sleeping quarters, and I had on my lap one of the care packages you sent to the rideout element. When I opened it, I promise you that never in my life was I happier to see a few clean pairs of Air Force issue socks. It was classic Ro. And like always, it made us happy. Thank you, Ro, for everything. As we bid Godspeed to Steve and Ro, we get the opportunity to welcome new leaders to our formation. But as with most things Tyndall these days, that's not exactly the case here. That's because the Brinkers have been with us all along. While the Lehrs were rebuilding our medical group, the Brinkers were rebuilding a flying operation at Eglin and Tyndall. As most of you are aware, Colonel Kathy Brinker, your soon-to-be Med Group Commander, is married to Colonel Bullet Brinker, our Maintenance Group Commander. I could talk at length about all Bullet did alongside Colonel Raisin Kane, our Ops Group Commander, to reconstitute flying ops after the storm at 2 locations no less. But today is about Colonel Kathy Brinker, and she brings to our team a reputation and breadth of experience that are second to none. Colonel Brinker has commanded at the flight, squadron, and deputy group levels. She has clinical experience from family health to pediatrics and from general surgery to internal medicine. She has also deployed multiple times. One of the many things that stand out in Colonel Brinker's accomplishments is similar to something I see in Colonel Lehr, and that is a relentless drive to make things better. One example is the 69 training affiliation agreements she drove at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and the 21 more she led at Hill Air Force Base. These relationships with local hospitals get her airmen the training that they need. And to quote her previous wing commander, they enriched community bonds. That sounds like exactly the breed of leader who will fit in nicely in this community. Colonel Brinker was not only the chief nurse at the Air Force's second largest military treatment facility, she was their number one of 132 officers. Kathy, we are lucky to have you here with us at Tyndall. 634 days in command. That's what you had, Colonel Lehr. 634 opportunities to lead airmen and make a difference in our Air Force. 634 days in command gave you 633 opportunities to do it better today than you did the day before. Colonel Brinker, you have enormous shoes to fill, but then I've never known a Brinker to shy away from a challenge. Lead them well and with your heart, and they will follow. This bunch is as tough as they come. Colonel Lehr, you passed the toughest leadership test we had to give, and you are on to even bigger things and more responsibility as you ascend in our nation's Air Force. Godspeed to you and Roe, and congratulations on a job well done. I'm proud of both of you. Thank you to everyone who shared your time with us this morning in this time-honored military tradition of the formal change of command from one commander to the next. Sergeant McFadder, present Colonel Lehr with his well-earned Legion of Merit, and then publish the change of command order.
Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of Legion of Merit to Colonel Stephen Lehr. Colonel Stephen W. Lehr distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct and the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 325th Medical Group, 325th Fighter Wing, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida, from 8 July 2018 to 15 April 2020. During this period, the exemplary ability, diligence, and devotion to duty of Colonel Lehr were instrumental factors in the resolution of many complex problems of major importance to the Air Force. Colonel Lehr's unparalleled leadership proved crucial following the base's near destruction after Hurricane Michael made landfall on the installation. Drawing on his medical planning experience, Colonel Lehr forged a response plan outlining requirements and a concept of operations, ensuring delivery of health services 2 days after the storm and creating the ability to care for 2,600 personnel, resulting in no loss of life. He quickly recognized the urgent need for pharmacy support in the community and built a joint plan with Panama City Beach Navy Clinic, restoring pharmacy operations, filling 800 prescriptions daily, and support of 38,000 beneficiaries, despite a 75% staff shortage. Furthermore, Colonel Lehr led the rapid recovery of a $104 million medical campus by securing a $4.8 million roof repair and logistics building redesign, aligning the clinic's recovery to the wing's $4.4 billion master plan for the base of the future. Finally, recognizing the need for a comprehensive care strategy, he leveraged civilian healthcare partners, Department of Defense assets, and TRICARE subject matter experts to shift 8,000 beneficiaries into the local network, closing care gaps left by the hurricane. His actions directly contributed to the 325th Medical Group's recognition as the 2018 Air Combat Command Clinic of the Year and the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations full accreditation with 3 best practices in healthcare within only 15 months of the catastrophic storm. Through superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Lehr reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. The order reads, Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, United States Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number GS 18-16. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51-604 and effective 24 April 2020, Colonel Stephen Lehr relinquishes command and Colonel Kathleen Brinker assumes command of the 325th Medical Group, Air Combat Command, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida, by order of Colonel Brian Laidlaw. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 325th Medical Group, Colonel Stephen Lehr.
Good morning. Colonel Laidlaw, Colonel Hawkins, Chief Grabham, fellow group commanders, squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, Team Tyndall, community partners, family, friends, and checker tail medics of the 325th Medical Group. Thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for taking time out of your hectic day and your Netflix binge session, whatever you got going on this morning. I just appreciate you taking part in our ceremony. To say these are interesting times is likely the biggest understatement of the year. Let me start by thanking Tech Sergeant Sierra Arenas and Tech Sergeant Warren for spearheading this effort. As volunteers back in January, there was no way they could have understood what a roller coaster ride that they were signing up for. Their efforts have brought us to this virtual ceremony today and likely have paved the way for Tyndall and other bases across the Air Force who are faced with the same social distancing challenges. Also want to thank Staff Sergeant McFadder for being our narrator today. While I've not seen his opening yet, I am certain he killed it and made our medical group proud. And then a special shout out goes to Tech Sergeant Linhart from Wing PA and Ms. Skiles from Protocol. I really appreciate your help in helping us solve this social distancing dilemma. Colonel Laidlaw, thank you for being an awesome boss and really allowing me the room to lead this amazing organization. Your style and steady leadership under some of the most difficult circumstances allowed me the chance to really learn and grow as a leader. It's been nothing short of inspirational to watch how you trusted your team with some of the most monumental decisions that will impact Tyndall Air Force Base for years to come. To be part of that is something that I will forever be proud of. Maria, Vicky, Joy, and Paula, I want to thank each of you for always taking care of me, but more importantly, for always taking care of the medical group. Your selflessness and devotion to duty was felt by our team every day. And Tech Sergeant LeCompte, you deserve special recognition for all that you've done and continue to do as the Med Group's amazing exec. Your professionalism, ability to learn and apply lessons under fire, and compassion are all things that an organization needs to be responsive to our customers. Every one of our medics owes a small part of their success to the hard work that you put in daily. I appreciate what you've done to keep me on track, and I know that Colonel Brinker will also be ever grateful for your assistance. And Chief Baxley, I can't say enough about your devotion to the medical group and to me as my wingman. You always checked me when necessary and kept our airmen as the #1 priority. Thank you for your service and for your friendship. I'm glad to know that you're going to be sticking around in our hood while I'm over in Afghanistan and will be there if Ro picks up the phone and needs a hand. And to my family and friends, thank you as well for your support over the last couple of years. You've been there for Ro and me when we need it the most, especially following Hurricane Michael, and you remain an important part of our lives every day. I'm comforted as I prepare to head off to Afghanistan for the next year, just knowing that you're going to be there whenever Ro or I need help with something. We know we can always pick up the phone and you're going to be there for us. And to my beautiful bride and my best friend, I can't even begin to thank you for being by my side on this crazy ride. As the Med Group's #1 spouse and sink house, you kept me in check and always helped me overcome my shortfalls. You were there for the medical group every time the situation called for a gentle and compassionate touch through some really, really tough times. And I want to thank you especially for pushing me to always do what's right and not necessarily what's easy. And your support and sacrifice is what keeps me in the fight every day. So thank you, and I love you so much, Bookster. To the mighty Checkertail medics, I am humbled to have had the opportunity to work for and with you over the past 21 months. The passion and expertise that each of you demonstrates every day is nothing short of awe-inspiring. Every time one of our leaders visited the Med Group, they were impressed by your ability to face challenges and turn them into wins. All the Wing, ACC, and Air Force level awards don't even begin to tell your story. Make no mistake, they're important and something to be proud of, but the way you embodied trusted care is what truly makes you an amazing team. When times were the most difficult, like recovering from a direct hit by a Category 5 hurricane or dealing with some small global pandemic, you stepped up to the plate and you hit home runs. You turned adversity into wins and you never cut a corner. Keeping patient safety as your bedrock has proved vital to becoming a highly reliable organization, and I challenge you to keep that same stride. Maintain your preoccupation with failure and error while you continue to deliver world-class healthcare. Finally, you are a resilient team. You're resilient because you rely on each other. No one member of the 325th Medical Group can do it by themselves or can function without other checkertails standing beside them. Keep that faith and reliance on each other, and you will continue to be the best medical group in the Air Force. So Kathy, at this point in time, I wish you the best of luck as you take the reins today. Just know that you've got a team of high-performing medics that will accomplish everything you ask of them. Just give them the challenge and get out of their way as they take off. Have fun and take care of these fabulous men and women. And with that, sir, I relinquish command.
Sir, I assume command. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colonel Kathleen Brinker, 325th Medical Group Commander. Colonel Laidlaw, I want to thank you for this amazing opportunity and for your trust and confidence in me. The last 2 years, Tyndall has seen its share of challenges from Hurricane Michael to the current pandemic situation. The Tyndall family has proven resilience, innovation, and excellence. This is a true testament to the leadership throughout the wing. Colonel Lehr, you have led the men and women of the 325th Medical Group through these challenges while building civilian partnerships and undergoing a significant transition to the Defense Health Agency. Your team of medical professionals have risen to the challenge and excelled under your tenure. Thank you to you and Roe for your leadership, and good luck in your next command. To the men and women of the 325th Medical Group, I am truly honored, humbled, and excited to lead an outstanding group of medics. I look forward to working with each of you. Lastly, I want to thank my husband, Bob. I appreciate your friendship and support these last 32 years. Thank you, and have a great Air Force Day.